Start.
आवाज तो बोलिए ना। So today, now, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Javed Hussain Memon, Professor of Pathology from Nawabshah. So today we topic discussed the tumors of the blood vessels. So we already discussed the topic related to the blood vessel diseases, including number one, there the vasculitis, and the previously atherosclerosis, and also arteriosclerosis, and along the types of the arteriosclerosis consisting of the atherosclerosis, a Marburg calcific sclerosis, and arteriolosclerosis. Okay, and then the hypertension, and fourth one the disease of the veins and the lymphatics. And now we also can be discussing a topic, last topic related to the blood vessel diseases, including tumors of the blood vessels. Okay, so today we discuss with a topic related to the tumors of the blood vessels, and they can comprising there the benign tumors, and also the intermediate or the low grade tumors. Intermediate are the low grade tumors, are the borderline tumors, and third category is the malignant tumors. So the benign tumors, they can also comprising hemangioma. This is also a hemangioma. They can divide it into the two variants, capillary hemangioma and the cavernous type of hemangioma. So they will also can be occur in the different location of the body and different age group, and they will also can be differentiating and from the depend on the size of the blood vessel. They can comprising capillary hemangioma and also the another one is the cavernous. They are called as a large blood vessel size. So we also can be discussed later on. So third one is the important is the pyogenic granuloma. So the pyogenic granuloma are the granuloma pyogenicum, and fourth one is the glomus tumor. Glomus tumor are the glomangiomas. So these are the benign tumors. They can arising from the blood vessels, and the tumors arising from the lymphatic vessels comprising there the lymphangiomas. They will also having there the same analog to the capillary hemangiomas. They also can divide it in the capillary lymphangiomas and also the cavernous type of the lymphangiomas. They will also can occur in the different location of the body. And then these are the entities, they also can occur in the benign tumors. Now we are also having there the another variety, the borderline tumors. The also can comprising there the tumor also from coming from the, they also having the intermediate or the locally malignant tumor. They will also have the are called as slowly growing tumors. They will also have the propensity, and they also can be infiltrate slowly, and then gradually they also can become malignant. So the entities within the borderline tumor are intermediate grade Kaposi sarcomas, and they will also having there the four categories, and we also discuss later on, and the other tumors also the hemangioendothelioma and the hemangiopericystoma. So these are the some tumors that also can be categorized within the borderline tumors. And next one is the third category, the malignant tumor, which may be the angiosarcomas. Angiosarcoma, this is a highly malignant tumor. They also can occur in the different parts of the body, most probably gastrointestinal tract, and also the liver, and they also can be occur in the retroperitoneum. So these are the some soft tissues and skin. So they will also can be a breast region. So they are the some location and for the development of the angiosarcoma. Angiosarcoma. So the malignant tumor, they also can be adding sarcoma. They can arising from the blood vessels. Now we also can be discussing and there are the primary tumors. Primary tumors of the blood vessels and and the lymphatics, and they are including and from including there the benign hemangiomas, benign hemangiomas to the intermediate grade, intermediate or the low grade, and frequently, and they also can be locally aggressive tumors. They are the angiosarcoma. So these are the lesions that also can be within the angiosarcoma, are the melaneoplasm angiosarcomas. So the other lesions, they also having there is some there the malformation, and they also having there the some other they are also having the developmental and also the some malformations, and also the cranial tumors. So they will also can be contributing like the vascular ectasias, and then the hereditary telangiectasias and spider telangiectasias and bacillary, most probably bacillary hemangiomatous. So these are the lesion they will also can be contributing in the some other variant. They are the related with the congenital, and most probably there is the congenital and developmental malformations, and they will also have there the and non, and most probably they also can occur in the non-neoplastic there is vascular proliferation. So these are the some lesion contributing in the different sites. Now the vascular tumors, and they also can be endothelial endothelial cell derived, or they are also arising from the endothelial cell, and or the can be most probably they are also having their the arising and from the cells, and their surrounding the are also can be lined by the endothelial cells, and they are also composed of the numerous vascular spaces or the vascular channels. They also can be lined by the some blood vessels. Okay, and some that is in general, and they're the vascular benign lesions, and vascular benign lesions, and they are composed of well-formed vascular channels or vascular spaces are called as the blood vessels, and they also can be lined by the benign-looking endothelial cells. They have the no any anaplastic feature in the benign hemangiomas. Okay, benign tumor of the blood vessels. On the other hand, and they're also having the some other melanoma tumors, and they also can be showing either the few or the poorly developed vascular channels. Okay, they are the having the few or the poorly developed vascular channels, and with they're the solid, most probably they are also having the solids, solid cellular, and also the solid cellular, and most probably anaplastic endothelial cells. So they will also come lined by the solid cells, and with the some there the anaplastic endothelial cells. So the endothelial cell proliferations. So they will also can be composed of the plump or the solid cells, and with anaplastic features having the polymorphism and hyperchromatic nuclei, and along with some the mitotic activity. Now come on to the topic. There the introduction about the benign primary tumors of the blood vessel, and they are the most probably arising from the blood vessels and the lymphatics, and they are uh, including there the hemangiomas and also the lymphangiomas. So lymphangiomas, they are analog to like the capillary hemangiomas, having the capillary hemangioma, capillary lymphangiomas, and the cavernous type of the lymphangiomas. So this is also some the differentiating point between the benign tumors and by the malignant tumors and by the histologically. Now I come to the topic. There is benign hemangiomas, benign hemangiomas, and the tumors like condition. Okay, so there are the hemangiomas, and they are the divided two variants, capillary hemangiomas and cavernous hemangiomas. They also depend upon the size of blood vessel. In the capillary hemangioma, the blood vessels and they are the smaller in the size, and the cavernous hemangiomas, in the blood vessels and they are the larger and then the capillary size. So, so the hemangiomas, and they are the vascular neoplasms, are they are also having their and they are the very common benign vascular tumor, vascular lesions, and they also can be accounting for about the 70% of the all benign tumors, all benign tumors arising in the pediatric variety. So another one, they are also divided into two forms. Number one, they are the capillary hemangiomas and the cavernous hemangiomas. So this also cavernous hemangiomas, and most probably. So now discussing the capillary hemangiomas. Capillary hemangiomas, and they are the very most common benign neoplasm arising from endothelial cells. Or the benign looking endothelial cell, they are lined by the vascular channels or blood vessels or vascular spaces. And they also can occur primarily, the most common site of the tumor is the skin and the mucous membrane. Okay. The most common site of the capillary hemangioma, they are the skin and the mucous membrane, and they are unencapsulated, and they have no any capsule. They are also called benign tumor, and they are unencapsulated. So lesions about the 1 millimeter or to several centimeter in the size. The size of the capillary hemangioma, they are the uh, varies from the 1 millimeter and to the 7 centimeter in diameter. Now, it is also composed of the microscopically, it is composed of the closely packed aggregates of the capillary side blood vessels. Of the capillary side blood vessels, vascular channels, and they are lined by the endothelial cells. Okay, so they may also maybe the partially or completely thrombosed. Okay, and they also having the another type, some the entity of the hemangioma, that the juvenile or strawberry type of the hemangiomas, that also can be it is also a variant. They also can be, it is present most probably at the birth in the one of the 200 children's, and they will also can be grow rapidly, and they will also can be grow rapidly and with few months, and they will also contain after, they also can begin to regress at the time, and most probably at the age of the 7 year. जब बच्चा 7 साल का होता है, तो they will also can become regress in the size. Okay, so they also can call it juvenile or the strawberry type of the hemangiomas. Now we can see the microscopical picture of the capillary hemangiomas. So this is also called the capillary, most probably the capillary size hemangiomas. They will also having the different type of the blood vessel. There is smaller size or capillary size vascular channel. They're lined by the benign looking endothelial cells, and they have the non-inflammatory cell infiltrate. Okay, so this also can be called the, this is the microscopical picture जो बेटा जो खाली spaces white पड़ी है, they are the multiple blood vessel are called as the vascular channel. They are lined by the benign looking endothelial cells, and they also they cannot be having the anaplastic changes. Then we also can call it benign tumor. Now, so this is also called as another variety called as the strawberry type. So they are called the juvenile type of the hemangiomas. So another entity that the cavernous type of the hemangiomas, these are also the unencapsulated, and they will also having the morphologically, so they also can be they also unencapsulated liens, and usually they also can be appear in the 1 to 2 centimeter in the diameter in the size, okay, in the size, and with rare giant cell formation. There is giant forms, and also they also can be exhibiting most probably the large than the they're also having a large, the thick, most probably large, thin-walled vascular spaces or vascular channels, and they are lined by the benign-looking endothelial cells. Okay, so the most common site they are also having the liver and also the retroperitoneum. So, are the most common site of the cavernous hemangioma, the liver and most probably also can occur retroperitoneum. The most common sites, okay, liver, the most common site of the cavernous hemangioma. It is also the retroperitoneum. And this lesion they also can occur in the central nervous system. Central nervous system. Okay. So the cavernous hemangiomas, and they will also can be cavernous hemangiomas, and they will also can occur in the cerebellum and the brainstem, and also can occur in the eye ground, and they will also can be associated and with most probably there the also the angiomatous lesion, angiomatous, and also the cystic lesions, and they also can. Okay, so this also can most common site, and they also can occur within the central nervous system, cerebellum, and also occur in the brainstem. Under the eye ground, so these are the most common site for the cavernous hemangiomas. So the another variety called the Gyrnoma pyogenicum or pyogenic Gyrnoma. So this is also some polypoid or ulcerated lesion, and they are an ulcerated uh, and polypoid benign-looking vascular lesion. They will also can be vascular lesion of the capillary. This is also a variant of the capillary hemangiomas. Also capillary hemangiomas, and they will also can be often, and they also can be followed by the any trauma. तो trauma के बाद जो lesions होते हैं, they will also can be occur called the Gillema pyogenicum. So Gillema pyogenicum, so it is a asserted polypoid variant of the capillary hemangiomas, and they will also can be followed by the traumatic lesion. It is also composed of the proliferating blood vessels are the proliferating capillaries are the vascular channels, and with the presence of the the most probably they also convey the uh, interspersed edema, and they will also convey presence of the inflammatory cell infiltrate inflammatory cells. They accompany the neutrophils and lymphocyte. They will also can be occur and within the stroma. So this is also can be called as the pyogenic glioma. This is a polypoid ulcerated lesion. They are also having the stalk. The most common site there is skin, and there's also having the soft tissues and the mucous membrane and gingival mucosa. So this is the most common site. They also can occurring, and they also can occur in the oral mucosa gingiva. Gingiva they also can presence of the development of the Guillemot pyogenicum. So the another entity of the Guillemot pyogenicum is the pregnancy-induced pregnancy. There is the Guillemot Pyogenicum gravidum. So they will also can occur at the time of the pregnancy, and they will also can be they also having comprised about the 1% of the cases, and they will also can regress, and they also can be regress in the postpartum state, and after the postpartum state, and they will also can be regress in size. So this is also an entity called the Guillemot Pyogenicum. So these are the benign layers, and they will also having their now this benign tumors. They are the lymphangioma arising from the lymphatic vessels, lymphatic channels, lymphangioma, and they are the benign uh, lymphatic tumors, lymphatic analog of the hemangiomas. Okay, they will also having they divided into the two types. Number one, the simple are the capillary lymphangiomas. Another one, and they also can call it the cavernous type of the lymphangiomas. So this is also analog of the capillary hemangioma simple. So it is also a 1 to 2 centimeter, and they are the 1 to 2 centimeter and exudate filled. They containing the exudate filled blister like blab formation, blab like this तरह फुलका होता है, जिस तरह boil type होती है, and they will also can be composed of the small lymphatic channels, small lymphatic channels, and they will also come lined by the benign looking endothelial cells, and they will also having a, and most probably they also having the perilous direction, and for the most common site, they also can occur in the head and neck and the axillary other subcutaneous tissues. So these are the most common site, and for the development of the simple capillary lymphangiomas. This is also analog of the capillary hemangiomas. The size of the 1 to 2 centimeter in the diameter, and the most common site they are the head, neck, and arm. Most probably head, neck, and axillary support tissues. And they are composed of small lymphatic channels, and they will also having they are lined by the endothelial cells. So now we can see the microscopical picture of the lymphangiomas. So they also can see the features of the this is the pyogenic guillema or the guillema pyogenicum. They will also having the small khali spaces, and they are the numerous or multiple blood vessels. They are lined by the endothelial cells and in the adjacent tissues, and they are also having the comprising the intense inflammatory cell infiltrate comprising the neutrophils and the macrophages, intense edema. Okay. Now this is also called as the capillary, most probably the capillary sized capillary size, and there are also and within the capillary size blood vessels the lymphangiomas, and also I mean that the smaller capillary size lymphatic channels they lined by the benign looking endothelial cells. So the most common site there are the head, neck, and axillary region. So we can differentiate it between the capillary and the cavernous type lymphangiomas. They can comprising a larger Khali spaces empty. They are the larger large lymphatic channels, and they also can containing there the inflammatory cell infiltrate, and within that, they also can the spaces, and they are filled with exudate type of the fluid, and comprising the neutrophils and the macrophages, and they are lined by the are surrounding by the benign looking endothelial cells. So the lymphangiomas, so they also can call it cavernous type of the lymphangiomas, and they are the and they are analog They are the analog cavernous. They're most probably they're the analog to the cavernous hemangiomas, and they will also occurring and in the they also can occur in the children's and in the this condition they will also can call a cystic hygroma. So a cavernous type of lymphoma they are called cystic hygromas. So they will also can occur in the most common site the neck or the axillary subcutaneous tissues, and they are the most common site, and also the rarely they also can occur in the retroperitoneally. Rarely they also can occur in retroperitoneal. So they are these genes and they also can be occur. Okay, these genes and they will also can be occasionally begins and most probably occasionally they may also can become larger and up to the 5 centimeter in the size. Okay, so they also conforming and there's a gross deformities. So these regions and they are the larger size vessels, lymphatic channels that lined by the endothelial cell. These larger size channels, lymphatic channel, they can containing the inflammatory cell infiltrate. So they are also can be not well encapsulated lesions, and they are also can be surgically recession is very difficult. Okay, so this is also called as the cavernous type of the lymphangioma called the cystic hygroma. This is also a variant of the lymphangiomas. Now another entity arising from the there is the hemangiomatous called the glomus tumor or the glomangioma. Glomangiomas is a glomus tumor. Glomus tumor they are called as the glomangiomas. So they will also can be they are very tumors, painful tumors of the modified smooth muscle cells, and they will also can be arising and from the glomus body. Arising from the glomus body, it is also specialized. There the arteriovenous fistulas. Okay, so it's artificial structures, and they will also can be involving in the they also can involving in the thermoregulatory areas, and they also can these tumor they will also can be smaller tumor. They also can appear as a pinpoint neoplasms, benign neoplasms. They also can occur at the edge of the fingernail at the site of the area of the thermoregulatory areas. So these tumor they will also can occur most commonly in the distal phalanges, and they will also can be and especially and they also can occur smooth muscle cells that are composed of the modified smooth muscle cells and in the thermoregulatory areas. Okay, smooth muscle cells and they also can occur within the nail. So these are the also morphologically. So these tumors and they will also appear as a less than 1 centimeter in the size, and also the smaller than the 1 centimeter, and maybe the pinpoint type lesions. So they also can be consists of aggregates, aggregate nest, and most probably nest, and also the masses of the somatic cells, masses of the specialized modified somatic cells of the called the global bodies. They can associate it and with also having their the branching also having the branching vascular channels. So this is also called as a glomus tumor and also called as a glomangioma. This is also a benign tumor. They are the very painful tumor. Painful tumor they also can occur at the thermotic area within the nail bed. So they appear as this less than 1 centimeter or less than 1 centimeter or the pinpoint tumor, they compose of the modified muscle cells. Now, these are the some developmental of the malformation, developmental the canadian, the vascular ectasia. Vascular ectasias, and they are most probably they are the common lesions, and they are the more common lesions, and they will also can be characterized by the some there is the local dilatation of the pre-existing the vascular channels to vascular vesicles and vessels, and they will also can be, and they are not a tumor-like condition. So these are the some another lesion like the nevus flammus. So this also can present. It is also a present are the birthmark. Okay, so other lesions like the spider telangiectasis and the hereditary telangiectasis, hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasis. These are the some canal abnormalities, hereditary vessel disorder. The most common tumor, some that the bacillary, some that the inflammatory or infectious condition of the vessel lesions comprising bacillary angiomatosis. And then the bacillary angiomatosis, it is also a infection, vascular infection, and they will also can be in a immunosuppressed patients में होती है, तो most probably the lesions, and they will also can lesions, and they can involve the most common site in the bone and the skin and also the soft tissue and the and brain, and also they also can occur in the other organ other organs also in the tissues, organ tissues. Okay, the most common site is the skin and the bone, and also the other organs and of the tissue, and they are also the brain. But this is the most common site for the bacillary infection. The bacillary angiomatosis also can be caused by the there is also gram-negative bacillus. The gram-negative bacillus, they also can be a causative implicated in the pathogenesis of the bacillary angiomatosis. Morphologically, there are the most of the lesions, skin lesions, and they will also can be having one or the more. Most probably, they are also having the one or the more red papules, and they will also can be nodular in the form, and there's a nodular subcutaneous mosses. So these are the some lesion arriving in the basal type. Microscopically, they will also can be consists of the composed of the atypical endothelial cells, and along with the inflammatory cell infiltrator. These are also having some morphological features of basal endomatosis. Now, the another entity, that the intermediate and the low grade are the borderline tumors of the blood vessel. So they're the comprising there the lot of varieties. They also can occur in the intermediate grade. Intermediate are the low malignant potential are the borderline tumors. They are called the Kaposi sarcomas. Kaposi sarcomas, and also the another lesion. Now we can see the glomus tumor. So this is also a glomus tumor. Glomus tumor. So they will also having the larger cell-like vascular spaces, and they will also can be lined by the smooth muscle cell, modified, specialized smooth muscle cell. They are lined by the smooth muscle cells. So this is also a microscopical picture of the glomus tumor, and they are the very painful and the small inside pinpoint type of the lesion. They can occur in the at the region of the nail bed. Now, we also discussing there the another entity, and there the intermediate grade or the intermediate grade of the borderline tumors or the blood vessels, Kaposi sarcomas. Kaposi sarcomas, and they're the epidemiologically Kaposi sarcomas, and it is also categorized into the four variants or varieties, and all they also can be showing that the same underlying cause, same underlying some of the underlying viral pathogenesis. So they also having the four varieties. Number one, they're the classic or the European Kaposi sarcomas. Another entity, they're the lymphadenopathic or uh, African, they are the endemic Kaposi sarcoma, and third one, transplant associated Kaposi sarcoma, and fourth one is acquired immunodeficiency Kaposi sarcomas, associated Kaposi sarcoma. They are the four variant of the Kaposi sarcomas. So the Kaposi sarcoma, they are also having the first type, they are the chronic classic or the European Kaposi sarcomas. Kaposi sarcoma, so this tumor they also can be occurring typically, most probably they also can occur in elderly men, and or most probably in the Eastern European countries, and especially Jews and the Mediterranean populations, and they will also can be affected by this type of the lesion. So it is not associated and with the HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, so they cannot be caused. So in this condition, the lesions, and they will also can be lesions. They also can appear at the red purple cutaneous plaque formations and nodules. Plaque formations and nodules appearance, and that also, and most probably they also can occur on the in the lower extremities, and rarely there also can visceral involvement. Also can be really visceral involvement also can be occur. So these are also a smaller red purple vesicles. They are also having uh, they're also having some there the goodness lesions, goodness there the plaque जैसे मानना plaque lesions होते हैं बेटा, तो they are also can be appear the sometime nodules. So in this condition, the visceral involvement they also can be really occur. Now another entity called as a lymphadenopathic. So the lymphadenopathic and are the one called African are the endemic type of the Kaposi. So these lanes, and they will also having the same geographical distributions and the Burkitt lymphoma type lanes. So it is also not associated and with the HIV infection, human immunodeficiency virus infection. Okay, so in this condition, and they will also can presentation the cutaneous lesions, and they are the spores. इसमें बेटा जो ना वो लेन जो spores होते हैं कहीं कहीं presentation होती है, and the Kaposi sarcomas, and they will also can be occurs, and that also can be quite aggressive. And third one, the transplant associated Kaposi sarcoma. This condition they will also can be it also can occur in the patients, and who also can be receiving the suppression therapy, immunosuppressant drugs, and they also can induce this type of the Kaposi sarcoma. In this condition, there are also can the lesion they are present as a nodal under the mucosal and the visceral involvement and can be can be occur. These tumors they are aggressive because they also confirm with some fatal condition. So this type of the lesions and may also can be regress by the some removal of the some that immunosuppression therapy. So this lesion they will also can be stopping the immunosuppressive therapy. They also can become regress in size. So they will also can be appear at the nodal or the mucosal and the some time of the visceral involvement of this lesion they will also can occur. And fourth one is that they are also having the acquired immune deficiency virus associated with Kapoor sarcoma. This condition they also can be caused by the HIV infection. And they also can be called the and they also can be epidemic. So it also can be occurs and they also can occur anywhere in the skin and also the some mucous membrane under the lymph nodes and some the gastrointestinal tract and the intestinal tract and also the other viscera they also can involve this condition. So these lesions and they also can be wide visceral distribution of the descents and they will also can be wide because of visceral disseminations and they will also can occur in early stages. Okay, early and there they with antiretroviral therapy they will also can be effective. So this is also called as some of the pathogenesis. Pathogenesis and more than 95% of the Kaposi sarcoma lesions and they will also can be infection. They also can be infected and with the and human herpes virus 8 strains and also known as a Kaposi associated herpes virus 8 infections. So they will also can implicate in the pathogenesis of the uh, implicate in all forms of the Kaposi sarcomas. Kaposi sarcomas and they will also can be developed. Okay, and there's local purifications and by some of the morphological features and they will also can be some of the gross picture and also the some of the microscopic along the microscopic pictures. And that's why there are three categories. They also can be three lesions and they also can be recognized. So there are three stages and the of the caposarcomas in the Lean sucker and the caposarcoma, they also can recognize number one, they are the appearance of the patches, and they will also can appear the pink purple color. They are the macules, and they will also can be usually they also can occur in the they are confined within the distal there's the distal lower extremities, the parts of the lower extremities, mostly the microscopically, and these lesions and they will also can be contained. They are the cell-like vascular spaces and irregular. They are the endothelial line by the irregular endothelial cells and with plump. And sometime of the in some cases they are also having the solid or the some cellular areas that also can occur in this type of the Kaposi sarcomas. Another lesion that's called the raised lesion. Number one, there's the raised plaque formations, and third one is there the nodular appearance. Nodular lesions also can occur in the Kaposi sarcomas. So these lesions and they also having there the these lesions and they will also can be composed of the cell-like vascular spaces and they are lined by the uh, some degree of the differentiation and with anaplasia like the pleomorphism and these tumor pleomorphism and hyperchromatism and the presence of the mitotic activities in the endothelial cell, these number of cells also can be increased. So these glands and they will also can be infiltrated with the vessel environment and along with the node environment. Now, there is a clinical features and these tumors and they are remain asymptomatic and such cases and they also can be treated by the chemotherapy and the radiotherapy. It also can be effective in these cases. In the case of caposarcoma, another entity that is hemangioendothelioma. Hemangioendothelioma is also a low grade or the intermediate grade, and these tumor, and they will also having the propensity, and for the they also can become malignant. There's the epithelioid hemangioblastoma. So these are the some entity of the low grade or the intermediate grade or the borderline tumor. So these tumors are most of the lesions, and they will also can be mostly they also can be cured by the excision, biopsy, excision, and but 90% of the cases, and they may also recur, and the 20% of the cases, and they become, and eventually also can be metastasis, and the 15% of the cases, and the patient they also can be and become die, and due to the some their extensive tumor metastasis in these cases. Now the another variety, that the hemangio pericytoma, this tumor, so it is also a borderline tumor or the low grade or the intermediate grade tumor, and the intermediate tumor or the pericytes. So they will also can be, it is commonly arising, and they also can be commonly arising on the in the lower extremities, and or and in the they also can occur in the retroperitoneum. So the most common site of the hemangiopericystoma, they are the retroperitoneum and the lower extremities. 50% of the this lesion of the tumor, and it is also a metastasis. So these tumor, 50% of cases, they also can become metastasis. So these tumor, they also can be presenting as most probably appear as the slowly growing tumor mass, and they are the enlarged, and they're the painless mosses, and they will also can be consisting of the branching vascular spaces or the capillary size vascular spaces of the channels, and they also having the low malignant low features of the low features of the anaplasia. And these tumor, and they will also can become malignant in the later stages, and they also can become rapidly. 50% of cases of these tumor, they also can be metastasis. Now, so globus tumor, so this is also can called the epithelioid, either the angiosarcoma. So this is a, now this is the Kaposi sarcoma. Kaposi sarcoma. So these are the tumor, the intermediate or the low grade or borderline tumor. They also can compress like vascular spaces. They are lined by the endothelial cells, and they will also having there the that's having the mild to moderate atypical features, having the polymorphism nuclear. The purple color के बड़ा जो देख रहे हैं nuclear cells देख रहे हैं, they are the endothelial cells, and they will also having the mild to moderate atypical features, and these tumor, and they also can become malignant in later stages. Caposarcoma, though this is a high power view, they also can showing the large purple color, violet color endothelial cells, and they will also having the atypical features or features of the anaplasia. So this is all caposarcomas. So this is also a epithelioid. So this is also a endothelioma, hemangioendothelioma. So this is also a low malignant potential or the low grade or the intermediate grade, and they are also having the smaller blood vessel size. They are lined by the endothelial cell, and they are also having their moderate type of the cellular atypia. So these particular nuclear blood they will also having their features of the anaplasia. And these tumor, they will also have the metastasis, and these tumor, they also having the recurrence chances for this tumor. Okay, so this is also called the low grade or intermediate grade tumor or borderline tumor. Now this is also a hemangiopericytoma. So tumor arising from the pericytes. Angiosarcoma, this is also a highly malignant and very aggressive tumor. So they are the malignant endothelial tumor. They also having the malignant endothelial neoplasms and also on a space, and they are also having the uh, okay, and also having the spectrum and from the well differentiated to the moderate differentiated, or they are also having the uh, hemangiosarcoma, well differentiated called hemangiosarcomas, and to the anaplastic angiosarcomas. Anaplastic, and then they also can be occur, most probably they also can be occur anywhere in the body, anywhere, but the most common site, and they will also can be tend to arise and in the skin, in the soft tissue, in the breast, and also in the liver. The most common site of the angiosarcoma is a very highly aggressive tumor arising from the endothelial cell. So the common site, the skin, soft tissues, and the breast and the liver. So the angiosarcomas and may also can be, and they are the very aggressive and highly malignant tumors arising from endothelial cells. And the metastasis, and there also can be, they also can metastasize rapidly and 5 year survival rate. ठीक है बेटा, तो उसके बाद उसकी जो मेटासाइज होती है वेरी अर्ली होती है, and survival rate is 5 years, 5 years roughly, and most probably 30%. Okay, so the hemangiosarcomas, there also can be hemangiosarcomas, they will also can be, and they are associated and with arsenic poisoning, arsenic, and there the some pesticides. So they also can be called the hemangiosarcomas, and polyvinyl chloride and thyrotrost dye. They are the chemical carcinogens, and they will also get induced in the hepatic angiosarcomas, and they are the associated with the arsenic poisoning, some pesticides, and also some generally polyvinyl chloride, and also some generally thyrotrost is also dye used, and they also leading to the hepatic angiosarcomas. So the angiosarcomas, and they will also can be also develops and into the long, in the long term chronic lymphedema. Lymphedema most probably also connect the long standing chronic lymphedemas, and then classically it also can be occur in the ipsilateral arm. Most probably ipsilateral arm. There are some years, and after the radical mastectomy, जो patient जो radical mastectomy करवाते हैं बेटा, and they will also can be inducing from the lymphedemas, and the resection of the surgical resection of the lymph nodes and lung, the lymphatic channel, they also can leading to the some there the lymphedema, they can leading to the formation of the development of the angiosarcoma at the affected sites. So the angiosarcomas and may also, there also can be induced by the they also can by the radiation, and most probably and by the really and by the foreign bodies. So these lesions, and they are the appear the cutaneous lesion morphological changes, morphological feature, the cutaneous lesions, and they will also can be uh, begins also can appear with smaller. So बेटा ये गलती से मिल आ गया, तो ये small well demarcated, and the red nodules appearances, and they will also can be and evolving and into the, most probably they also can be evolving and into the fleshy, and then the gray white and soft tissues. Gray white soft tissues, they also can be occurring in the soft tissue masses. They also can appear in the gray white tissue masses. So microscopically, these tumors, and they are a highly aggressive tumor. They are composed of the from well different. They also have the degree of differentiation, and and they also having found they also can be found the plump, and there's the anaplastic cells, anaplastic endothelial cells, plump endothelial cells, and they also can lined by the irregular acid-like and undifferentiated vascular channels, and they will also can be vascular channel, and they will also having the atypical features having the polymorphism and the hyperchromatic nuclei and the mutative activities, and these tumors and the other from the well differentiated to the anaplastic and to the undifferentiated tumors. So the microscopically, most probably there also can be a degrees of the differentiation microscopically, and all they are showing the degree of the differentiation, and they are also can be found and from the plump anaplastic endothelial cells and to the undifferentiated lesions, and um, with also having with a cellular atypical feature having the polymorphism and hypercorticular and the mutated activities, and they will also can be including they also having the giant cell formations that also can occur within these vascular lumen or the vascular spaces. So this is a microscopical picture of the angiosarcomas. This is also angiosarcomas. This is a highly malignant tumor. They also having the different type of the vascular, irregular vascular spaces, and having the cellular differentiation, and from the well differentiated to the anaplastic cells, having the polymorphism and the nucleus. They also can become the hyperchromatic and the polymorphic which show the polymorphism feature and with the activity of the mitotic figures. So this is also a microscopic picture of the angiosarcomas. It's a highly aggressive and malignant tumor arising from the blood vessels. Common side skin, soft tissues, and the liver and the breast region. In the breast region, they also can cause the lymphedema, and for the after the surgical resection of the lymphatic channel, they can lead to the formation of this type of angiosarcoma. So this is a highly aggressive tumor. Okay, so this is also all of about the tumors of the blood vessels. They can comprising the benign tumor, and also the benign tumor comprising the hemangioma, benign tumor hemangiomas. They can come also having the varieties comprising capillary hemangiomas and also the cavernous type hemangiomas, and there the inflammatory condition or ulcerative polypoidinium, and they also having the capillary size. Capillary is also a variant of the capillary hemangiomas called as a pyogenic granuloma. And the tumor arising from the modified, specialized modified smooth cells, they are called as a glomus tumor. Glomus tumor. So these tumors, this is also glomus tumor or glomangiomas, tumor arising from the lymphatic vessels, and they are analog to the capillary hemangiomas, and they are the lymphangiomas. They are blister-like. In the cavernous hemangiomas, and they are the large size blood vessels, and the different type of the sites. They call a cystic hygroma most commonly occur in the children's. Now, some there the malformation, developmental malformation, like an abnormality like the vascular ectasias, the dilatation of the vesicles and or vascular spaces. Another one, and they are having there is some other like the spider telangiectasis, and in the bottom they are the hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasis. And now the infectious disease of the vascular infections comprising bacillary angiomatosis. Also can caused by gram-negative bacillus or organisms. Now these are the intermediate grade or the low grade are the borderline tumors. They also have the tendency, and they also can become malignant called a Kaposi sarcomas. There are the four entities, and also having there the hemangioendotheliomas and the hemangioperisatomas. Okay, they will also having there the hemangioperisatomas, hemangioendothelioma, and also the hemangioperisatomas. arise from the pericytes. So this is a malignant tumor called as the angiosarcoma. And it's a highly aggressive tumor. So now, few seconds before we are so discussing the angiosarcomas. So today's this is all of about the tumors of blood vessel, benign tumor, and the borderline endometrial tumor, and third one is the malignant tumor. The most one is angiosarcomas. Okay, beta. Thank you, beta, very much. Salim?